Fred Richani of the TSC Podcast. We have right here via Zoom, not one, but two very special guests. We have Chelsea Caldwell and Jake Norton. They are two of the stars of the new docuseries on HBO Max, streaming right now, Happily Ever Avatar. They linked up through a little game, I believe, called World of Warcraft. You may have heard of it. We're here to talk about the show, which will hopefully be a hit series. We're here to talk about life during the pandemic, gaming, and a little bit of everything in between.
R.I.P. Yes! Super Bowl!
What is it called?
It's a Super Bowl.
What's it? What?
It's a Super Bowl.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's a great ball.
It's a Super Bowl.
It's a great ball. The long distance got really hard for us. It was about 6 months before Chelsea joined me out here in Kansas. We just couldn't do the long distance anymore. I'm glad that you're finally here.
Me too.
It's nice to have you here.
I'm glad. Oh, Jesus. You don't even care that I'm out here. You care that we're not in California.
I do care that you're here.
It was hard doing the long distance again. Something I totally said I'd never do.
Yep.
But
Just only for 6 months, though.
only for 6 months. That's only half a year.
Not even that, because you had to leave early.
This is beautiful. We can never do this in California. The only nice thing is all those bugs that I'm hearing. Those don't exist in California.
It's okay. When you experience your first winter, there won't be any bugs.
Oh, Jesus.
Kansas is very different from California. Jake absolutely loves it because he's from Utah. I was born and raised in the LA area. It's been a very difficult transition because it's not at all what I'm used to.
I've never driven in snow before.
It's not so much the snow, it's just the cold.
I'll get acclimated to it, I guess.
We'll see.
I think it's a really great thing, I think.
I'm just out of reach of that Pokestop, so we should go walk that way and get that one so I can get it.
Let's
and
go.
then the other one. See if there's any other Pokemon aside
Check for
from
the spider.
the crab. Where's the spider?
It's gone. Dear.
Okay.
How's it going?
It's going. We are hanging in there.
I'm living the dream, man.
So, for
Excited to be chatting with someone.
yeah, no, hey, listen, it's nice to have these face-to-face interactions, even if it's virtually. I mean, I'm somebody that's kind of an extrovert and an introvert, and I never realized how much I actually like people until this thing happened.
Oh, yeah. I get that.
I'm the other way around. Shut it all down. I'm out. I got the one I need right here, and we'll just call it good. I'm out.
Well, hopefully
I'm gonna dig a
everybody.
hole.
Well, hopefully everybody one day will have a Chelsea and a Jake of their own, as we all strive to have one day. But Happily Ever Avatar. This kind of came about in my inbox. Somebody said, hey, would you like to review the show? I said, sure, why not? I'm a huge gamer. Found it thoroughly interesting, if I do say so myself. Found your stories pretty interesting. I think most people these days are used to meeting online when it comes to online dating, whether it be Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, whatever app you choose to use, Farmers Only. I'm not judging. But with video games, it's still a little taboo. So how did this all come about with you two?
So we were actually in the same guild. We hadn't really interacted a whole lot. Actually, our first interaction was one of my buddies, Ethan. I was giving him bags. Like I had crafted bags for him. And he was like, oh, this guy in the guild needs them too. And I was like, I don't really know him. I don't want to give him bags. You're my buddy. He's a new dude. And so it was just, we didn't really interact at all. And then there was one night we all decided, a big group of us decided to pull an all-nighter. And we started chatting because we were graduating the same year in high school. And he had planned on moving to California. And so he's like, oh, well, I'll add you on MySpace. This is back in MySpace days. I'll add you on MySpace so that when I move out there, maybe we can hang out. And I was like, oh, yeah, for sure. Go ahead. And he adds me, and then he goes directly to the guild chat and was like, just a heads up, guys, Chelsea's way cute.
Smooth.
Very smooth.
The smoothest. And it was actually kind of funny because there was a guy in there who had a major crush on me, and he's like, yeah, tell me something I don't know. And I was like, that's awkward. But it was kind of, we stayed up all night chatting until we had to go to school the next day, and here we are.
9 years later, here we sit on this couch.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's well. First off, that's amazing. God bless you guys. I mean, nine years is pretty remarkable. So how did you end up on the show? Was there a casting for, hey, gaming couples who met through a game? Did you stumble upon somebody? I mean, how did you guys end up getting linked up with HBO Max in the show?
So it kind of exactly like that. I got a random message on Instagram after I had tagged us in at Comic-Con with just the casting call. Nothing else. It was just the image of the casting call. I was like, hey, Jake, we met on a video game. Is this something you would be interested in doing? And he was like, if you want to apply for it, why not? Let's do it. When I did it, I genuinely did not think we would get picked.
I would have laughed in your face. We're going to pick you. No, you're not.
Yeah. And we got an email, I think, within the week. And they're like, hey, we really like your story. Let's set up a Skype call. And here we are.
Yeah.
It was just a random Instagram message. I couldn't even tell you who sent it to me. It was. I don't know.
So when they decided, okay, you know what, we're going to roll with this. We're going to put you guys in Happily Ever Avatar. I mean, I would imagine it was a bit of an adjustment having all kinds of cameras around you, being private citizens, all of a sudden kind of being celebrities now in that HBO Max space, or soon to be, I guess, since it's a relatively new show.
Yeah.
How did it all change for you? Like what changed in your day-to-day? Obviously you're gaming, you're doing your thing, but there are cameras everywhere.
Yeah. It was 2 weeks of like, there are cameras everywhere. And then they were gone like that. It was just a lot I don't think for her, it was all that different. For me, it was always right here, right in the peripheral. There's just always a camera there.
Yeah.
So it was very strange, but it wasn't for very long.
Yeah, it wasn't as weird as I thought it was going to be having cameras follow us around. I think the weirdest thing about it was other people's reactions to it.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple instances where we were out in public and we went to a coffee shop and it was more so everyone else who were like, what's going on? And they were like, you could tell they were trying to not react, but they were like side-eyeing.
They were listening.
I think that was weirder than the cameras.
Yeah.
They're probably like, who are these people? And what are they doing here?
Yeah, should I know who they are?
We're nobody. That's who we are. We're absolutely no one.
We're a couple of nerds.
We're a bunch of nerds trying to drink this coffee and eat this toast. Can you?
Yeah, just living the dream, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Every day.
So when the show got wrapped up filming, when you finally saw the finished product on HBO Max, did you say, holy crap, I didn't look as good as I thought I would? Or were you kind of surprised by the portrayal? Because as you guys know, with any reality TV, no matter what it is, there's always kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like, hey, you get fame, you get paid, you have possible opportunities, but at the same time, you could also be reflected in a negative light. So when you finally saw the whole thing, what was your reaction?
Well, she's watched all the way through. I have not. I've got bits and pieces of it. It seems like a reality TV show.
I think it's fairly accurate. Like it's a pretty good portrayal. I think there was a lot of storylines that we were trying to fit in a very small amount of time. So I personally, for me, I feel like I came off kind of whiny, but that was, it was my computer that he was helping build me a new one and moving away from California. There was a lot of storylines where I was bummed and upset about things. So aside from that though, I feel like, you okay?
Yeah.
I feel like it came across well, that we have fun together and that there is love there. And so I think it's, like you said, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. I think parts of it were really good, but then other parts are like, oh, okay.
When the episodes are 12, 15 minutes long.
Yeah, it's quick.
We had a whole lot of footage, and I'm sure that editor had one hell of a job. So I'm sure it was just mashing as much stuff in as possible and having it still make sense. Having edited videos before, I feel for that guy or that lady. I don't know.
Same here. It takes a lot. Now, Chelsea, you said you were from California originally, moved to Kansas City. So when did you decide to make that move? Did you two meet each other before you made that move? How did it work out? Did he visit you? Did you visit him? When did you decide to make the big move together?
So I grew up in Utah. That's where all my family is. We met while I was living there. And when I when she moved to Kansas, I had already been living in California for 3 years. Like, so there is a gap there where, between, the show or before the show got filmed and that kind of stuff, I had moved and was living there. Right. But I ended up, I had some friends that live here and job opportunity opened and I took it because it was a good job. It paid pretty well and it's really expensive to live in California.
Oh yeah.
It's nuts and it's not as nuts here. So
no, it was an adjustment. It was, but he was already living in California with me. He did move out to Kansas before I did, though. Yeah. He was here for about 6 months before I moved out.
And that's just because of the job.
And that was, because of the job. And then I was able to follow out. It was a big change. I mean, going from California to Kansas is kind of a little bit of a culture shock to a degree.
Yeah. So is Utah to California. Let me tell you what.
Yeah, true. I think that's a decent change too.
Yeah.
But I will say I love the seasons here. Like actually having winter and cold weather and snow is super exciting for me because I was in LA area. I was in Southern California. I wasn't in Northern California where they potentially get snow.
It's really warm.
It's very warm.
They have one season and it's hot.
No, there's 2 seasons.
Hot and on fire?
Summer and not as hot summer.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Basically, like, we're on fire and there's mud, but it's also still kind of hot. Whereas here we've got humid spring and fall and ice.
Yeah.
So
So I got to ask you, somebody that's not from Kansas City, you're from the Kansas version of Kansas City, right? Or living there right now?
When I first moved here, I was living on the Missouri side with a friend, and then we moved over to the Kansas side. It's just that it's literally right on the border. We're, 30 minutes away from the border right now? 35 minutes with no traffic?
We've moved a little outside of it, but we were, I was actually at one point working in Missouri and living in Kansas. So it's that close. And that actually the first time my mom and my brother came to visit, my brother just couldn't grasp his head around the fact that I lived and worked in a different state.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, what? No, I'm like, just wait. And I drove them to my store and I was like, so this bridge that we're on right now? Yeah, now we're in Missouri.
See that sign that says welcome to Missouri? Here we go.
Yeah.
You did it, bud. You're in Missouri.
Which side has the best gaming community?
I'm a fairly competitive fighting game player outside of World of Warcraft. And I would say that either Kansas or Missouri, the Kansas City fighting game community is the Kansas City fighting game community. They are excellent individuals who taught me a lot. And there's not a whole lot like that in Utah. Not when I was there anyway. I think there is now. I've got a couple friends like Jake and Colby.
Yeah.
I know they were running something at one point. I was too busy trying to, California is a rough place to work when you're in IT like I am. So there was a lot less time focused on like finding a gaming community and more so just like making sure that I had a job.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the beauty of, being the 21st century is I don't need the community to be physically here. I have the internet. So
isn't it great to have video games? I mean, especially in times like these. Like I'll tell you, I bought on a whim. I bought Assassin's Creed Odyssey. When the pandemic first started, and I was like, all right, this is a pretty big game. Maybe I'll play it a little bit. It'll distract me. I ended up putting like over 80 hours into the game. I regret nothing. And video games are just a great way to kind of clear your mind and also distract you from all the crap that's going on, especially right now. I mean, there's obviously the pandemic, there's a recession, there's all the political stuff going on. So in particular with this time period right now, how much has video games helped both of you?
So
buckle up, buddy.
I got Animal Crossing towards the beginning of quarantine. I had to wait a little bit because I didn't have a Switch, and trying to find one in the middle of quarantine was not an easy feat. It was not easy.
We both have lights. We don't have a full Switch.
True. That's all we could find.
Wow.
But I have put in
You can look. Where's your Switch?
I'm not gonna go get it. I have probably put in close to 300 hours onto my island. But I have a couple of my favorite villagers, so it's fine. And they're my buddies. So it was a big thing for me. It was very much so an escape. Animal Crossing, I feel like it's very funny because you'll see those memes out right now. It's like, I think I saw one where someone took the New Horizons in the logo and changed it to free therapy. And yes, 100%.
Yeah. I'm on my third playthrough of Fire Emblem Three Houses. I'm on the third house. I beat Breath of the Wild for the third time. I've been playing WoW. I played in a Street Fighter tournament. I played in a Mortal Kombat tournament. If it's a video game, I'm probably gonna play it. Like it's just part of the deal. I'm gonna start playing Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire here soon because it's got all the folks from Critical Role in it. If you know anything about D&D and all that fun stuff, that's very exciting for me. But yeah, it's just another day. I'm just playing video games. I got 240 hours in Fire Emblem.
Wow.
30 full days on a single character in WoW. It's just another day.
Seems legit. And with video games on your side, I mean, are you so you mentioned like being a part of like the fighting game community and having a guild and everything. Are you a regular streamer and do you compete in any kind of esports tournaments at all?
Yeah, so I've competed in a few fighting game tournaments, not a whole lot. We have one here called Max Out, and it is an awesome event that a guy named Robbie runs, and it's amazing. It's so much fun to go out and hang out with those dudes and compete. We went to Evo last year. There's some sketchy stuff happening with Evo at this current moment with all the with all the Me Too stuff. Some bad things have happened in that neck of the woods, but it was fun while we were there. And I played a little bit there. I've played and placed in Mortal Kombat tournaments. I'm streaming on Twitch. My handle is HXC Sasquatch. It's just, it's video games are the thing that I do. I have a lot of hobbies, a lot of them. Video games is the biggest one. It's just the thing that I do. I mean, I literally started streaming just because like I'm playing games anyway.
Yeah.
Might as well just hit go, see who shows up.
He tries to get me to stream and
it will happen.
I have not done that yet. I have not delved into that territory.
Yeah.
Come on, don't you? I mean, you have the computer, you got the hubby that's got the experience. Come on now.
Yeah,
I could.
Yeah. You got time. I
do. I've got lots of time.
I think her biggest issue with streaming is she plays 2 whole video games.
I play 3 video games, thank you. I play Stardew Valley as well.
You play 2 whole video games. When was the last time you launched Stardew Valley?
The day before I got Animal Crossing.
The problem that we have right now is that it is physically incapable. You were physically incapable of streaming a Switch Lite. So we would need to invest in a full-size Switch and a new Elgato capture card, which is, that's $500 right there by itself. So it's expensive, but one day.
Maybe I'll do it when the new WoW expansion drops.
Race to 60?
Maybe.
We'll be waiting.
I'm going to be. I am always the first person in the guild to hit level cap. Thank you very much.
You were not last X-Pack. You were not the X-Pack before that. Thank you very much. You were not.
I was.
We have video footage of me hitting it first in the guild. No, second after Chuck in Legion.
After Chuck, wow.
Well, we don't talk about Chuck. Chuck plays a lot of WoW. Okay. Plays a lot, so much WoW.
It doesn't even matter what he plays. He's just kind of good at everything.
He's also just always there. Like, all right, I'm going to get on. It's 3 a.m. and I can't sleep. I'm going to go play some WoW. Somebody's online. Oh, it's Chuck.
Chuck's great.
I love Chuck.
Hey, Chuck seems great.
Chuck's a good dude. Chuck's good people.
Are you
name like Chuck?
Hey, name like Chuck, right? So are you 2 ready for some quick hits?
Sure.
Besides anything you've mentioned so far, what are your all-time favorite games and why?
Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64. is, in my opinion, one of the greatest video games ever, and is my all-time favorite.
This is gonna be real random. Probably Crazy Taxi.
Hell yeah.
It's really nostalgic for me. I used to play it a lot with my brother when I was younger. So I think if I had to pick anything beyond what I've said, is probably that.
It's a good arcade game.
It's great. Did you play it on Dreamcast, or did you play it at your local arcade back when they had those?
Dreamcast was my jam. I loved my Dreamcast.
I have played it on the arcade cabinet, and it is nuts.
Yeah.
We went to, what was it, 2017 when we went to Combo Breaker?
Sure.
Wait, no, it would have been 2016. 2016, we went to Combo Breaker, which is a fighting game tournament in Chicago. And the biggest arcade on the face of the planet is in Chicago. It's called Galloping Ghost. And I want to live there in that arcade.
I don't.
It's amazing.
Wow. That sounds badass. All-time favorite console?
I probably Dreamcast.
Super Nintendo.
I loved my Dreamcast. Or Genesis. Genesis was good too. That's what I started my gaming on. All the Disney games.
Yeah.
Those were my thing.
Oh, the Lion King?
I would have to say Super Nintendo.
Little Mermaid.
Okay.
100%. Love that game.
Yeah. SNES or Super Famicom, whatever floats your boat. The 16-bit era was probably the greatest time to play a video game because, I mean, there are still games coming out that mimic that graphic style. So I would have to go with SNES, Super Famicom, whatever floats your boat there.
You know, you mentioned that as owners of a Switch or of Switches, and I'm an owner of a Switch as well. The one thing I love and hate about Nintendo is they repurpose everything. And with their online service, they currently have the SNES Online stuff you get access and the original NES, which is great. Yeah. But I'm still waiting for them to post stuff from like N64 era, from GameCube era. And it's like, to just keep releasing it in piecemeal or remastering it. Like, man, like just come out with some N64 classic or online service or whatever. I will pay you money for it. I just want to play it.
They need to just release like the virtual console, like they had with the like the Wii and the Wii U had a virtual console, and you could buy the games there, and it was great. Having it included in the online service is awesome, but like we're on our fourth or fifth rotation of SNES games. Like Donkey Kong Country's coming in like 15 days, and I am excited. But come on, give me one. Can I just have a crumb of an N64 game, just a little bit right here? Who knows?
Yeah.
Nintendo's weird. They're always going to be weird, and we'll see what happens. My hopes are high, and my expectations are rock bottom.
That's the way to be. Favorite all-time video game character?
Oh,
mine is controversial because she's not good right now. I like Sylvanas from WoW.
Oh, yeah.
She is. They are doing her dirty. Let me say, but.
No, she's going to be a real
I love
boss.
her so much. I love her.
Well, I hope you're ready to kill her in the next X-Pack, because that's what's happening.
I won't do it.
Man, what a question. It's either Link or Zangief, and I don't know which one. So
cool. There we go. Toss up between the two. Hardest boss you've ever faced?
The horse boss in Sekiro. Basically, this guy just rides around on a horse with a giant sword, and here's hoping, like, maybe you'll parry it. Maybe it's the attack you think it is.
Oh, fun.
Or like you could just say, if it's made by From Software, it's a hard boss fight.
Now, I'm not going to spoil the show or anything, but I did notice a couple little Easter eggs in there. Now, during some of your segments, I saw that there was a cat. Which one of you?
Do you want to see her?
Yeah, sure.
I can grab her. She's sitting right here.
Yeah, sure. I'm a cat guy. I have two cats myself. Which one of you is a cat person?
I mean, we're both cat people, but
this is Frigg.
Aw, hi Frigg.
Hello.
Yeah,
Aw,
I think
very cute.
we're both cat people. I think we're both technically dog people.
Yeah, we're just
But
people.
I think for me, given the choice, I'm taking the cat. And I think for her, given the choice, Moose is outside. So
We have a dog outside too. We didn't want him to be whining while we were doing this.
Cool. So with Happily Ever Avatar now on HBO Max, for people that are going to be diving into that, what's one thing you want them to take away from the show?
I think, especially in today's day and age, well, just with everything going on right now with COVID and not really being able to go out and interact with people in person, like you can meet someone online on a video game at that and have it end up being something that's really special. Like I feel like the stigma around it isn't as prominent as it was, 9 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think it's just, like that's the most important thing. It's just like you can meet someone online and have it blossom into something that's great in person.
yeah, I mean, we have, outside of our relationship, we have lifelong friends that,
Oh yeah.
That we wouldn't have unless we played WoW. And I think, much like I said about getting into playing WoW, is just do it. Like you're not going to know what's going to happen unless you give it a shot. So why not? It's $15 a month. It'll be fine.
Okay. There you go. And I'll get you out of here on this. What's the best piece of advice you give anybody that's hoping to have a nice, long-lasting relationship?
Talk.
Yeah. Talk. Don't. And it's something I've had to work on a lot is don't bottle things up.
Yep.
Like if you're upset about something, just talk it out. Communication is communication is key. And I feel like that is so, that's such a basic answer to say.
It's pretty cookie cutter, but
it's important.
If you don't say what's on your mind, it's going to sit and fester and it's going to bug you forever. And then you're going to blurt it out one day and then, that's bad. That's not good. So
and
talk
and then find stuff to do together that you both enjoy.
Yep.
Excellent. Great advice. Well, I really do appreciate the time. It's been a pleasure talking to you two. It's been a pleasure watching the show and seeing some of your adventures and misadventures and Sir Fredericks and the cats and all the other characters. Where can fans find you two online?
My name for everything is Woah Chels, but I've been told it's spelled weird. It's WOAH and then CHELS. That's everything, Twitter, Instagram. I technically have a Twitch that I don't use under that same name. Maybe I'll start. Who knows? But that's what I'm on everything.
Yep. And then I'm on a podcast called The Boss Battle Show. I'm just taking a break at the moment to reorganize, but I stream on Twitch at HXC Sasquatch. My Twitter is HXC Squatch. My Instagram is everything is HXC Sasquatch. Everything. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. It's all that same stuff. I just sit and play video games a lot. So come hang out. It'll be fun.
Living the dream. You can follow Jake and Chelsea online. And of course, you can check them out on Happily Ever Avatar, streaming right now on HBO Max. Thanks so much.
Thank you.